just be yourself at work. Be truly authentic with people around you. This is terrible advice for leaders. Not because you're not wonderful, I'm sure you are, but because leadership isn't about being 100% seen. It's about being strategically seen. There is an ongoing myth that if you're not 100% raw, vulnerable, and emotionally naked at all times, you are somehow inauthentic. Here's what I think. Humans don't follow chaos, they follow clarity. In this video, I'll show you why controlled transparency is the real superpower of modern leaders and how you can use it without losing your soul. Ready to tune your authenticity? Hey, my name is Greg from RenU. I'm a master coach helping people, teams, and organizations to know, design, and become themselves. RenU and I are here to help you live a life where you have control. Let me be blunt for a second. If you're a leader and you think authenticity means telling your team every doubt, fear, and mental hiccup you've had this week, you're not leading, you're unloading. And unloading isn't trust building, it's burden sharing in disguise. We live in an age of radical transparency and vulnerability is strength, which can be true, but only if it's done wisely. Authenticity, when misunderstood, turns leaders into live wires. It's like showing up to a team meeting emotionally naked. But people don't want you naked, they want you anchored. So dress up, please. You can think of a leader like a lighthouse, not a disco ball. A disco ball is going to flash every color, every angle, all the time. It's chaotic, dizzying. But a lighthouse, it doesn't reveal everything. It reveals exactly what's needed to keep people safe and on course. That's the job, to provide a sense of direction, presence, and trust. Now, am I saying hide all your emotions from your team? No. I am saying leadership isn't about being fully seen, it's about being strategically understood. Coaching question. When have you shared something in the name of authenticity that ended up creating confusion or even eroded trust? For me, it was when I was first promoted to take care of the Asia Pacific business for my ex-corporation. I first behaved like I could share everything with my team as they used to be my peers. That created confusion and a belief that I was not confident in myself by sharing too much my doubts. Let's have an exercise called the authenticity audit. Take 10 minutes to reflect and journal. Think of 3 moments where being totally real backfired. For each, ask, what was my intention? What was the actual impact? Rewrite how you could have shared a targeted truth instead. A version that still is you, but with the audience's need in mind. Remember that being fully transparent might make you feel better, but it might make your team feel lost. And that's not authenticity, that's self-centered catharsis. Leadership isn't about expressing everything, it's about expressing what matters. If you think people want the truth, let me ask you something. When you order pizza, do you crave a wild new surprise in the box? Or do you want it to be exactly what you expected? Hot, delicious, no anchovies, please, unless you ask for them. Same with leadership. We are wired for certainty. Our brains are prediction machines. We constantly scan for patterns, what's safe, what's familiar, what's consistent. It's not that we can't handle a hard truth, it's that we don't trust it unless it comes in a familiar, stable way. Neuroscience shows that when we perceive predictability, our brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, the feel-good and trust chemicals. But when leaders flood us with raw, unfiltered emotion, the limbic system lights up like a firework. Not in a good way. We go into fight or flight, freeze, not trust and follow. Good leadership calms the amygdala. Great leadership activates the prefrontal cortex, the part that handles logic, vision, and future thinking. And guess what activates the prefrontal cortex? Curated, emotionally relevant, and purpose-driven truth. In my past job, I worked with a lot of young railway engineers. They saw me as the big boss, not too sure what to talk with me about. So once in a while, I would have lunch with some of them, and I told them I was a video gamer. That immediately created a completely different perspective of me, and a very different way to open to me. I suddenly became a bit more cool. That wasn't over sharing, it was relating. It signaled, hey, I see you, I get you. That moment wasn't about me, it was about what they needed, connection to their context. That's how trust is built. Relevant transparency, not random vulnerability. Coaching question. What do your people actually need from you right now? What fact, clarity, or stability? An exercise now, the trust relevance grid. Draw a 2x2 grid. On one axis, write audience, like teams, execs, clients. On the other, write impact type, like connection, inspiration, strategy. Then fill one personal truth you could share for each intersection and ask, is it relevant to them? Does it build trust or just relieve my need to be real? I choose one to try this week. Truth without stability is just noise, but truth delivered with calm, clarity, and relevance, that's leadership.
You like this video so far? Then you know what to do. Also subscribe and put on notifications if you want to receive content like this every week. Check out other YouTube videos from famous YouTube channels in the video description. It's always good to take a look at a topic through multiple lenses.
Imagine a stage, the curtains open, the light hit just right. The theater's story unfolds with impact, reason, emotion, and purpose. You're touched, inspired, mesmerized as a spectator. Now imagine that you witness the entire rehearsal before that on a bad day. It's not quite the same experience, is it? This is controlled transparency. It's not about lying, it's about choosing what truth matters most right now to this audience for this purpose. And it's what great leaders do. Take Steve Jobs. He wasn't just a product visionary, he was a master storyteller. He shared vulnerabilities like a man on a mission, but only the ones that amplified the myth, that served the moment. You never saw him stumbling out of bed on a bad hair day wondering if Apple was a mistake. But you did see him talk about being fired from his own company and how that pain sparked a new fire. That was curated, that was leadership. At Bombardier, in my previous company, I used to talk to my senior leaders about all the leadership and personal development books that I was reading. Was I trying to look smart? Well, yes, maybe a little. But I was also showing them I'm a learner, I'm a challenger of what we do in this company. That is who I am, by the way, but more importantly, that's who they needed me to be in that role. Controlled transparency means revealing a truth that shapes perception with a purpose. Some people might say, but Greg, isn't that manipulative? The question is, what is your intent? If your intent is positive to the people around you and yourself, then for me, that's not manipulation. This isn't about faking it, it's about framing it. There are a lot of wonderful truths about you that can be shared to make you shine in the right circumstances. Coaching question. Are you curating your leadership story or are you airing your emotional laundry? Let's do the write your leadership brand statement exercise. Write a 3-line statement that answers, what truths about yourself do you want your team to know? What truths are best shared later or in a different context? What's the impact you want your story to have on them today? Use this to guide what you reveal and why. So no, leadership is not a confessional booth. It's the stage, a story, a signal tower. And the best leaders don't reveal everything. They reveal what matters most to move others forward. Here is something that rarely gets said in leadership circles. Privacy is not the opposite of authenticity. It's the container that makes authenticity safe. We all have rooms in our lives that are private, not because we're ashamed, but because boundaries are what give relationships structure. And yet somehow, in the name of being real, we forget this. Think of privacy like insulation in a house. Without it, everything leaks. Heat leaks out, noise leaks in, you lose energy, comfort, and eventually safety. Boundaries work the same way in leadership. They keep the emotional climate safe, warm, and clear, so others can trust you without fearing emotional whiplash. I have shared the hard stuff too. I've told you, my YouTube audience, what it's like being a solopreneur and feeling alone that comes with it. I've shared that I lost $300,000 in my first business venture, which was painful but powerful when told at the right moment. Here's the key. I didn't dump that into a random Zoom meeting with some strangers because I needed to get it off my chest. I shared it when it served a greater purpose and when I was ready to do so. That's leadership, not confession. Your team does not need to read your emotional diary. They need to see the version of you that helps them rise, with the right level of humanity to feel safe and inspired. Privacy, when intentional, is a signal of maturity. He says, I know who I am, and I know what part of that will serve you best right now. Coaching question. What parts of yourself do you feel pressured to reveal? But deep down, you know that they serve you, not your team. Time for the create your transparency map exercise. Draw 3 concentric circles on a page. The outer circle is public, what you are okay sharing on LinkedIn or YouTube. The middle circle is your team. What do your people need to hear to trust you? And the inner circle is reserved for your coach, your partner, your close friends, your therapist, etc. Place 3 of your truths in each of those circles. Then ask, which circle have I been oversharing from and why? This is how you align intention with impact. So here is a paradox. Authenticity isn't about exposing everything. It's about choosing what serves. The most admirable leaders and the most transparent, they're the most intentional. They know how to share from the inside out with clarity, with compassion, and yes, with control. Because the goal isn't to be emotionally naked. The goal is to be emotionally available with boundaries that build trust instead of breaking it. As some not too famous guy once quipped, great leaders and open books. They are well-edited manuscripts. If this video resonated with you, you might be interested in becoming a true leader coach to lead with presence, empathy, and intent.